In the 7th century, Tibet emerged from isolation and forged one of Asia's most powerful empires, commanding trade routes, armies, and distant territories. But by the year 842, it collapsed from within. Then this region vanished from history. For over 1,000 years, its legacy survived only through fading murals, forgotten manuscripts and ruins scattered across the plateau. Even today, traces of that era remain. In the west, the Xander earth forest rises like the ruins of a petrified kingdom. Shaped not by human hands, but by millions of years of wind and erosion. In the east, the balmy peach blossom valley blooms just once a year, a quiet ritual of colour and life clinging to alpine cold. And across the highlands, the yak continues to roam, unchanged for over 10,000 years. Still the backbone of survival, at the roof of the world. Stay with me as we uncover the hidden wonders of Tibet. Places so unreal, they might just change the way you see this region forever. Xander Earth Forest. National Geological Park's scenery resembles a forest, but it's entirely made of earth and stone rather than trees. It takes its name from the area called Xander, combined with the unique stone pillars that rise from the sediment. These natural formations are called hoodoos, spires and columns created as softer rock erodes, leaving harder rock standing. Archaeologists have found ancient fossils and remains here, offering clues to a different climate and landscape in the distant past. The park is also famous for inspiring artists and scientists, as it has appeared in studies about natural erosion and in artwork exploring imaginative landscapes. Kansai town is known for its traditional architecture, maze-like old streets, and distinct stone houses with flat roofs. The town has long been a crossroads for traders and pilgrims, as visitors walk cobbled alleyways lined with walls painted white and ochre, discovering small workshops where crafts like carpet weaving and butter sculpture traditions survive. Interestingly, its water system was historically run through intricate stone channels, allowing residents to direct mountain meltwater through courtyards and wash basins. The Pal Cho Monastery, also called Pelkor Cho De, stands out for its large Kumbum stupa, a multi-level structure containing 108 chapels filled with colourful murals and statues. The stupa is circular and layered, drawing influences from Tibetan, Han, and Nepali cultures. Pilgrims walk clockwise around the Kumbum, spinning prayer wheels as they ascend. Local records note that the Kumbum's design was inspired by a flower, layered, symmetrical, and orderly. Kansai is the dominating hilltop fortress constructed in the late 14th century. The fort has withstood sieges and battles, its stone walls and towers visibly scarred by cannon fire. During confrontations in the early 20th century, parts of its structure were damaged, and visitors can still see pockmarks and collapsed sections alongside panoramic views of the plain below. Yamjo Yunso, also called Yamdrok Lake, is recognised for its clear turquoise waters and unique shape, which local legends say resembles a scorpion viewed from above. The lake is considered sacred, as pilgrims journey to Yamjo Yunso, walking or driving along its winding shoreline as part of their traditional circuits. It is said that the lake's waters bring spiritual merit and good fortune, a belief that has made it a key destination for ceremonies and prayers. Guay kingdom ruins, known locally as Tsapurang, are famous for their ancient remains, layers of cave dwellings, fortress walls, watchtowers, and battered temples spread across a rugged hillside. The site gets its name from the old Guay kingdom, once a key power in the region's high-altitude deserts. Archaeologists and historians identify this site as one of the oldest centres of Buddhist learning and art in the region. During the site's abandonment, much of the Guay art was buried by natural landslides and wind-blown sand. Corola Glacier is one of the most accessible continental glaciers in the region, sitting on the southern face of Mount Nojin Kangsang, as it acts as a visible boundary marker between counties. Its proximity to a main highway makes it a frequent stop for travellers journeying between key towns. The glacier's appearance resembles a frozen waterfall, with high, sheer ice cliffs that form a prominent landmark visible from the road. Additionally, it is considered one of the 3 major continental glaciers in the region, alongside others that feed major rivers downstream. Local communities have relied on glacial meltwater for nearby streams and pastures. Gand Monastery is one of the 3 main Geological monasteries and is located overlooking the Kichu Valley. It was founded by Tsongkhapa in 1409, an influential religious teacher and reformer whose name is closely linked to the monastery's origins. Its name means joyful, referring to a pure land in Buddhist cosmology, reflecting Tsongkhapa's vision for the site as a place of learning and spiritual practice, shaping the Geological school of Tibetan Buddhism. It was one of the largest and most important religious complexes in the region before suffering significant damage during mid-20th century conflicts. The Tibetan Plateau is the world's highest and largest plateau, often called the roof of the world, due to its extreme elevation and vast expanse. Evidently, it is located on the Tibetan Plateau region and references both the ethnic territory traditionally inhabited by Tibetan people and the high-altitude geographic formation itself. It is a cold, dry area where oxygen levels are lower than in most places, but it is also the source of some of Asia's major rivers and plays a crucial role in hydrology, feeding watersheds that sustain millions far downstream. Among the animals adapted to this environment are herds of wild and semi-wild horses that roam the grasslands. These horses are prized for their hardiness and endurance, able to survive on sparse vegetation and endure extreme temperature shifts. They move in groups following natural grazing cycles and play an important role in local nomadic cultures. Another animal is the horned lark, a small bird native to alpine and open habitats on the plateau, known for its ground nesting habits and distinctive call. It has a compact body and a short tail, often seen moving quickly on the ground in search of seeds and insects. The bird is well adapted to cold and windy conditions, using its plumage for insulation and displaying aerial songs during mating season. Its behaviour includes territorial defence through flight displays and ground chases, highlighting its resilience in a tough, sparse environment. Ranu Lake is defined by its long, narrow shape and distinctive location along the Sichuan-Tibet Highway in eastern Tibet. The lake is glacier-fed, with its waters sourced mainly from nearby snow-capped peaks and glaciers, including Ligu Glacier. Additionally, it is the largest lake in eastern Tibet and acts as the main source for the Palongzangbu River, a key tributary of the Brahmaputra. According to local legend, the lake was formed after a battle between a water buffalo in the lake and a scalper on the shore. Serving as the capital of Tibet, Lhasa is renowned as one of the highest cities in the world and place of the gods, a name that reflects its role as a spiritual and cultural centre. Its community is shaped by a strong Tibetan majority, alongside Han, Hui Muslims, and other minorities. Originally known as Rasa, meaning goat's place, due to its early days as a herding site, the name changed as the city developed into a religious capital with the establishment of sacred sites and the construction of important temples such as the Potala Palace, Jokang Temple, and more. Originally built as a meditation site and expanded to a palace and monastery complex, Potala Palace was both a residence and a seat of government for Dalai Lamas. Construction began in the 17th century under the direction of the 5th Dalai Lama and expanded the earlier palace of Songtsen Gampo. The palace's name comes from Mount Potalaka, the legendary home of the Bodhisattva Avu Loketaishvara. Its white and red palaces once housed thousands of monks, officials and workers, though it turned into a museum and a symbol of religious and historical continuity after 1959. In between, it reportedly stood deserted for centuries before being restored and expanded. Drepung Temple is the holiest site in the city's Buddhist tradition, famous for being the ultimate pilgrimage destination. Its origins trace back to the 7th century, built under King Songtsen Gampo to enshrine sacred Buddha statues brought by his Nepalese and Chinese wives. The temple's design mixes Tibetan, Chinese and Nepalese influences. Legend claims the site was chosen by tossing a ring into a lake, which then revealed a spot to build. Throughout history, it has been expanded and rebuilt multiple times, surviving fires, conflict, and periods of closure. Drepung Monastery, situated at the western edge of the city, is the largest in Tibet. Founded in the early 15th century by Jamyang Choge Tashi Palden, a disciple of Tsongkhapa, it soon became a major centre for Buddhist study and debate. At its peak, Drepung housed thousands of monks and served as the residence for Dalai Lamas before the Potala Palace was built. It was known for its academic standards and was sometimes compared to ancient monastic universities. Today, the monastery remains a centre for religious education and annual festivals, as monks pray and conduct worship there daily. Balmy Peach Blossom Valley is famous for its wild peach trees that flower each spring, carpeting the valley in pink against snow peaks and winding rivers. It stretches for dozens of kilometres, making it the largest peach blossom valley in the region. The valley's wild Prunus mira trees, many several centuries old, grow along the Yarlung Tsangpo River, surrounded by alpine meadows, glaciers, and traditional Tibetan villages. Additionally, its microclimate, influenced by wet monsoons channeled by nearby mountains and rivers, creates an environment where wild peach trees thrive longer and bloom more brightly than in neighbouring areas. The Yarlung Changpo River is the longest in the region, beginning near Mount Kailash and flowing through high valleys and canyons. As it descends from glacier sources, it forms the Yarlung Changpo Grand Canyon, an immense natural feature, iconic as the deepest and one of the longest canyons on Earth. The river is essential for local ecology and culture, supporting settlements and sacred traditions along its winding course. Mount Kailash is known as a sacred mountain, revered by several religions, including Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and the Bon tradition. Located in western Tibet, it is the centre of a famous pilgrimage route called the Kora, a circular path approximately 52 kilometres long. Pilgrims undertake this demanding journey on foot, often completing it in a single day or several days while performing rituals such as prostrations along the way. The Kora surrounds the mountain's base and is said to bring spiritual merit, cleansing and blessings to those who complete it. Local and visiting pilgrims believe that walking this circuit connects them to the divine and helps erase past sins. Often, colourful prayer flags line the Kora route and flutter from poles and rocky outcrops, inscribed with mantras and symbols intended to spread blessings as the wind moves them. These flags are regularly replaced by pilgrims and locals, keeping the spiritual energy fresh. Streams of pilgrims walking, chanting, and sometimes carrying small shrines or ritual objects create a continuous flow of devotion around the mountain. Shigatse is the second largest city in the region and has long served as the cultural and administrative centre of the Tsang province. It boasts a lengthy legacy as a political centre, once the seat of kings and later the home base for influential religious leaders, especially the Panchen Lama. It is where Tibetan opera, known as Lamo, originated, merging folk stories with Buddhist teachings and performed at local festivals. The city is also famous for its connection to the origins of barley cultivation in high-altitude environments, which remains a dietary staple to this day. Today, it continues to serve as a starting point for journeys to the Everest region along major highways. Founded by the first Dalai Lama, Tashi Lunpo Monastery later became the official seat of the Panchen Lama, who holds the second highest position in the local spiritual hierarchy. The monastery complex covers expansive grounds, with golden roofs and walls that follow the hill's contours. It features a colossal statue of the future Buddha, the largest of its kind made from gilded copper. The site includes the burial stupas of several Panchen Lamas, with the only funerary stupa of the first Dalai Lama not interred elsewhere. Shigatse Dzong dominates the northern part of the city and dates to the formation of official administrative regions, where it acted as both government office and a religious centre. Originally built as an administrative and defensive stronghold, it was significant during the Mongol invasions and the rise of the fifth Dalai Lama's leadership in the 17th century. The fortress was nearly destroyed in the 1960s, but was later reconstructed using both modern materials and original stonework, blending the past and present. Today, Shigatse Dzong operates partly as a museum, preserving artworks, murals, and oral histories about the city's ruling era. Namtso Lake is recognised as the highest saltwater lake in the world, well known for its clear, deep blue waters and high-altitude location. Its name means Heavenly Lake, or Sky Lake in the local language, as it is highly revered in Tibetan Buddhism, with many pilgrims undertaking journeys around its shores as part of their spiritual practice. Among the wildlife commonly seen at Namtso are the ruddy shelduck, a migratory waterfowl species that frequents many high Tibetan lakes, including Yamjo and Namtso. These birds are often spotted in mating pairs, noted for their bright orange-brown plumage, contrasting with white patches and black tail feathers. They feed along the lake's edges, thriving in the high-altitude wetlands and meadows surrounding the water, and are infamous for their loud, trumpet-like calls. domesticated yaks grazing and resting along the shores of Namtso Lake are well adapted to survive the lake's extreme cold and high-altitude environment. These animals are known for their thick, woolly coats, which protect them from harsh winds and freezing temperatures, and their wide, sturdy hooves that provide stability on rocky, uneven terrain. Historically, yaks have been integral to survival, where few other animals can thrive, and are especially essential to local communities for transportation, meat, milk and wool. Their dung is also used as a key fuel source in treeless highlands, highlighting their practical role in daily life. Notably, the yaks at Namtso have the ability to drink salty or brackish water from the lake, tolerating mineral levels that many other animals cannot. This adaptation is vital given the lake's saline waters and the limited freshwater sources nearby. The village of Lulang is regarded for its highland location, where gentle meadows stretch among pine and fir forests, offering open spaces and clear alpine views. The village features traditional wooden homes built in a style adapted to the mountain climate, featuring sturdy timber frames and sloped roofs designed to shed snow and rain. It has long been a pastoral community, with residents herding yaks, sheep and goats across the nearby grasslands. Pangong Tso is a high-altitude saltwater lake known for its remarkable shifting blue colours, which change throughout the day depending on light and weather conditions. Stretching across rugged terrain, the lake extends over remote areas, with sections draining into separate river systems despite being part of one body. Despite its saline content, it supports a unique ecosystem, attracting migratory birds and other wildlife adapted to its harsh environment. Near the lake's grassy banks, Himalayan marmots are a common sight. These large ground squirrels dig extensive burrow systems and spend much of their time standing upright on their hind legs, scanning for predators. Their presence helps in maintaining the grassland ecosystem by aerating the soil and spreading seeds. Among the migratory birds frequenting Pangong Tso is the bar-headed goose, characterised by its ability to fly at extreme altitudes over the Himalayas during migrations. These birds often appear in pairs or small flocks on the lake during summer months, feeding along the shores and in nearby wetlands. Luoja Canyon boasts a deep, steep-walled gorge carved by the Luoja Xiongchu River, running through Luoja County. This dramatic gorge displays raw geological features, providing a vivid example of how mountain rivers carve valleys through high-altitude terrain. Historically, it has been part of routes used by local communities who live in otherwise difficult-to-access areas. The slopes around Luoja Canyon are home to the Ba Rule, or blue sheep, a mountain-dwelling herbivore well adapted to steep, rocky terrain. Barrel move with agility across cliffs that appear inaccessible, using their natural camouflage to avoid predators. They graze on sparse vegetation found on the canyon's upper ridges and have developed keen eyesight and sure-footedness essential for survival. These animals serve as prey for high-altitude predators such as the snow leopard. Known for its thick fur and powerful limbs, the snow leopard is a master of stealth and endurance in this harsh region. Sightings are rare due to their solitary and secretive nature, but their presence is vital to the ecological balance of the area. They mainly rely on camouflage and patience to approach prey. Mount Everest is distinguished as the world's highest peak and the highest point on Earth, standing prominently within the Mount Everest Nature Reserve. It carries several local names, but the English name Mount Everest honours Sir George Everest, a 19th century surveyor general, though he preferred local names. The peak is part of the vast Himalayan range, formed by the long-term collision of tectonic plates, pushing ancient seafloor sediments into towering mountains. its slopes are the focus of mountaineering achievement and controversy, as well as scientific study regarding geology, weather patterns, and human endurance. However, not all survive the climb, and due to extreme conditions and risk, most bodies have never been retrieved, making parts of the mountain a mortuary landscape. The mountain continues to rise slightly each year due to ongoing tectonic uplift. Rongbuk Monastery, situated near the north face of Mount Everest, is the highest monastery in the world, at around 5,000 meters elevation. Founded in the early 20th century by the Nyingma Lama Nahuang Tenzin Norbu, it was built in an area long inhabited by hermits and meditators who used local caves and huts for spiritual retreat. The monastery has served as a gathering place for monks, nuns, and pilgrims, offering religious guidance, teachings, and meditation space. The surrounding valley, nicknamed the Sanctuary of the Birds, was traditionally a strict no-killing zone, and early explorers found wild animals unusually tame in the monastery's vicinity. The Rongbuk Glacier is a massive valley glacier flowing from Everest's northern slopes and helps give access to higher altitudes from the north, forming the main route toward the North Col for climbing expeditions. The glacier system consists of the main, east, middle, and west Rongbuk glaciers, with tributaries feeding into the main valley. Discovery by George Mallory and colleagues in the early 20th century enabled the identification of a viable climbing route for the historic British reconnaissance expeditions. This is Tibet, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal wonders of Ladakh, check out this video.